In the bone-chilling cold of an Austrian winter morning, we waited among the trees for sunrise. Here, where the Danube meets the so-called Amber Road, the Romans established a garrison town called Carnuntum, Stone Town. The soldiers had to be entertained all year round, so they built an amphitheatre on the edge of town.
I'm standing on a killing ground where Roman gladiators fought lion and bear and each other. Now just imagine it, 13,000 spectators cheering and jeering the gladiators. This is obviously a visible Roman monument, but our story is about the invisible, what's below ground, and a new form of archaeology which reveals it in sensational detail.
Ghostly images, the outline of ancient buildings, X-rays, if you like, of the Roman landscape. And here, man-made circles that are much, much older. Archaeologists can now suddenly map vast areas quickly and in extraordinary detail.
She has actually developed dramatically also by the power of the computer who are collecting this data set. So we are now having arrays of antennas, 16 antennas and more, which are monitoring the soil at the same time, and therefore we get really this high resolution data set in a high speed, so we can cover 3-4 hectares a day.
Huge space.
Huge space.
Austrian farmland lying fallow, half a kilometre square. A small tractor heads towards the horizon and trundles back again. Up and down it goes. The white box at the front is ground-penetrating radar. The whole system costs $300,000. There are 16 separate antennae in there collecting data. Enough data for a 3D image to a depth of 2 meters. This is instant bone-shaking archaeology without the need to excavate. At Carnuntum, the Roman amphitheatre and the land around it was first freshly surveyed from the air with something called a hyperspectral scanner. Something interesting, a cloudy mass to the right of the arena warranted a closer look. Ground radar revealed a complex of buildings.
I was just looking on this animation of the radar data going up and down in the subsurface when this circular feature came and said, wow, this is a sensation.
This perfect circle was crucial. What we are looking at is a gladiator training ring circa 100 AD, and the tiny dot in the center was a clinching detail, a post hole.
So this was the main feature of a training arena.
And what did they use though? They slashed their swords against it, or
yeah,
what?
they trapped it like an enemy, and then they trained with the different weapons.
It's not a question of just imagining what the amphitheatre and the gladiator school looked like, but of rebuilding them in virtual reality. The Ludwig Boltzmann Institute in Vienna, or LBI for short, exists in its own words for archaeological prospection and virtual archaeology, and its work seems surgically precise. The gladiator school was 2,800 square meters. It served 50 gladiators, and their indoor training hall had underfloor heating. The school came, needless to say, with its own cemetery. The Institute is involved in another big project, Stonehenge on Salisbury Plain in England. In collaboration with the University of Birmingham, the entire landscape is being mapped, some 7 kilometers square. Already, a startling discovery has been made just 900 meters from the stone circle. On the radar image, the blotches mark ditches. On the inside, a series of post holes, making a rough circle of 24 posts. This was a wooden henge, huge stakes up to 5 meters high, and it predates the stone circle. Did the ancients build first in wood, simply because they were still working out how to move giant stones onto the plain? There is a sense in which archaeologists are simply racing ahead. Our quad bike was dragging a $180,000 magnetometer with a special glass fiber frame with 10 sensors, the basic tool for a high-speed survey.
When I started, I had the vision but that it actually worked out in my lifetime is just a sensation. 2 years ago, if you would have asked me if this would be possible in 2 years' time, I would say no. But now I'm right in this development and I'm very happy about it.
All this technology was first developed in the 1950s and 60s by the military and by the oil industry. But archaeologists have adapted it and refined it. And without breaking ground, they're finding new ways of investigating the story of man.